Hey guys, what is going on? This is Ip of RageQuitTV, gonna be casting a game between Mil.Stephano and Roxkis.T1TAN. It is a PVZ on Shakuras Plateau, and I know you may be thinking, hey, Titan, he is Russian, he plays on the European server, why is Stephano playing him? Because he is North American. Actually, I know he is French, but he's just in NA right now. He has been for a while for the Lone Star Clash tournament, but this game was played on March 1st while Stephano was still in EU, so both players playing on EU, living in EU, so they have very little lag, as low lag as you possibly can. We do have Stephano going for a 10th drone, so it looks like he will be doing an extractor trick, and Titan is going to be going for a pylon in his own base, not going to be opting out for that. Oh, he's going to be opting out of the Forge Fast Expand route, which is a little bit odd, and Stephano not going to be going for the extractor trick, just building his Overlord at 10, so casually, and when the Overlord pops, he will build 3 drones immediately. It's a little bit odd that he didn't go for an extractor trick, and it's even more odd that he is not building another drone, so it is going to be an 11 pull out of Stephano, going to be opening up with some early aggression, but I've also heard a lot of rumors a long time ago that 11 pull is the most economical route, based on paper, because you get your queen out early, and apparently it just lines up well. I don't know if that is true or not. That was months ago that I heard that, and players never swapped to the 11 pool over like a 14 or 15 pool. We do have Titan going for a gateway. It looks like he did build that at 13, and he is about at 200 minerals and not doing anything, so it looks like he may be going for a 1-gate expand, as he isn't building any more gateways. Stephano does get a gas, and this is definitely a little bit odd. I haven't seen this too often. Maybe I just don't watch enough Stephano, and this 11 pool is completely normal for him. And it looks like he followed that up with a 13 gas, based upon how much gas has been mined. We do have a queen on the way out, and the probe is going to be building a nexus, so he is going to be going for a 1-gate expand. And now that probe is going to be going out to scout, and we'll see Stephano with the pool already up. He'll probably even see the queen out by like 3 minutes and 40 seconds with the vomit and the energy on it. He may know that the time the queen has come out, because he can just, depending how good he is, which Roxkis.T1TAN is good, you can see how long the queen's been out by just looking at her energy. And he's going to see that queen did a vomit, and she has 10 energy, so she's been out quite a bit. It didn't really just come out, and now starts coming right back down. Those lings are already out, and that is a little bit early for everything. So Titan is going to be building a Forge, it looks like. So he is going to be doing a Forge FE, just doing it a little bit funky, and does have 180 minerals. Is he going to build a Cybernetics core so he can complete the wall with that 1 Zealot? And that may be a 2U wall, meaning it takes 2 Zealots to wall that off, and that could be a small mistake. It's always hard to tell, but that does look like it is definitely 2U, so it will take 2 Zealots to completely wall that off. If you use just 1, you can spam click somewhere like here with your lings, and they will eventually just push that Zealot aside and run right on through. Stephano building a lot of lings, doing some early aggression right now. Does sense a little bit of a weakness in Titan's build, but Titan, he is getting the Forge up with this next core. Does have 2 Zealots out, and that 1 probe is not going to see all those extra lings. Stephano does hide them up, but it does see 2 more coming, so what is Titan going to be doing? It looks like he is just fine on these 3 Zealots he has. Those lings are going to come. The second Zealot does get just in the way to prevent those lings from running by, and Stephano cannot engage those Zealots with all those lings with the cannon behind, and Titan is going to be building even another cannon behind this. And be a bit better if he built the cannon like off to the side somewhere, just because roaches could come possibly, and with an Overlord giving vision, I think they could take out this pylon, opening up a big hole in the wall and allowing those lings to run by. Stephano, though, does have his natural up. We still have this 1 probe just scouting around, and doesn't really see too much, but it looks like he's on patrol just looking for more lings or roaches, making sure that Stephano cannot sneak anything by. Of course, the probe would die, but Titan would be saying, okay, you sent more units on out. Now the probe going to be coming, sees that 1 base, doesn't see any drones mining at the natural, so that is definitely a sign for him that Stephano has built a lot of units. Now he's going to go and see both of these gases, and that is a little bit odd. That could mean that baneling pressure is going to be coming. So what do we see? We see the 1 probe going to be building a pylon here. That will allow him to build a pylon on this high, a cannon on this high ground, which could help against roaches or banelings if that's exactly what he thinks is coming. Stephano, though, still just has a lot of lings, doesn't have a banelings, that's going to be going for a lair. So he is going to go for a relatively fast lair timing. This isn't fast to most Zerg standards, but to Stephano, this is insanely fast for a lair. Generally, again, you do see him at least on 3 hatches before he goes up to that lair, especially in ZVP. But he decided to put a little bit more pressure on Titan, and Titan just had the correct answer. It is 37 probes to 34 drones, so Titan's still in that economic lead. He is getting that +1 on out. And Stephano taking these guys right now. It looks like he may actually go into Spire play, building 3 spine callers and getting these gases up. And 4 gases, this lair timing, and spine callers with only lings, no banelings nest. Yes, it is going to be Spire play, just because Stephano getting so much gas and building nothing that cost gas for defense. So he is going to be transitioning into Spire play that will allow him to take map control and take more bases around the map. And Titan doesn't really have that much anti-air out right now, even getting an Immortal out. So he's going to have a scary ground force, and that Spire now has just started. It will be finishing at around 10:15, 10:30, I think. So Titan has a huge window where he can do damage. Most likely will be moving out once this one Immortal does pop out. And Stephano only will have 4 spine callers and lings. Immortals do very well against spine callers, and Titan gonna be moving out. Has so many sentries, zealots, and that one Immortal. Gonna be giving himself a little bit of peace of mind, prevent any run buys from happening by placing a pylon to complete the wall off as he does move out. Does have a probe with this. Stephano gonna be seeing all this force coming in, and gonna be building more spine callers. Does have 1, 2, 3, 4 more going since he saw this pressure. And remember that one comparison I made between Idra and Stephano yesterday? About Idra, him holding things off with just minimal amounts, and Stephano, he just tries to go to the late game. And this is Stephano's a great example of Stephano just wanting to go to the late game. This is more spine callers than he needs, by any means necessary. That is way more. Titan comes up, and he immediately decided to walk back, and he's going to be going back up, but this is more spine callers than Titan could ever hope to deal with at this point of the game. So there's no way of him going up here. Stephano actually going to be putting himself a little bit behind by building all these spine callers. Down workers right now, only by 3. Titan comes up, sees the spine callers, did not get canceled. And he is free to take another base right now, and he should know that mutas will be coming. And that's something that you wouldn't see Idra do. He wouldn't build this many spine callers, maybe these 3 back here, or maybe even 4. He probably built half the number of spine callers and just try to defend this with as little as possible so he doesn't take any hits economically. And now Stephano notices that Titan has left. He is going to be taking out these 2 pylons, and that will be supply capping Titan just briefly. No, not supply capping just yet. 105 to 108, but Titan has to take out this 1 pylon, and that will supply cap him, supply capping himself as the mutas are being built. He should know that muta play is coming. Does have Stalker split up in the main, and a lot of units down here. That is a lot of energy on these sentries. And we do have Titan also getting Colossus out with Observer speed, and mutas will be coming out. And Stephano only on 2 bases worth of gas. That is not all that much. So he can only build around, I want to say, 4 mutas, maybe 4 to 5 mutas per minute. And he is getting double upgrades. This Observer does see, and that Observer is so quick, but mutas just a little bit faster. However, the detection, that isn't a little bit faster, and that Observer may be getting away. No, the Observer does catch him off, and that was definitely a little funny engagement. The mutas could see the Observer, but they just could not attack it, and the Observer took the correct path, headed off that Observer. And Stephano does have quite a few mutas. He will be ahead in the upgrades on those mutas just because he is doing them 2 at a time, but Titan looks like he wants to put a little bit of pressure on while keeping a handful of Stalkers back at home. So these lings are going to see the forces, and Stephano probably knows Stalkers are back at home. We do have Blink now just completing, but will those mutas be able to come in and snipe the pylon to take Blink down? No, it doesn't look like he is going to be going for that, but the Blink is just going to finish. If Stephano went for that pylon first, that Blink would not have finished. And Stephano is going to take out those 2 stalkers on the low ground and now get on away. But more stalkers come out from over here to head off those mutas. The muta's going to be falling back home. Stephano is taking a double expand right now, and this is going to allow him to have the gas to build a lot of mutas. It takes 1 gas, and that means 1 gas will allow you to build 1 muta per minute. Basically, each gas mine's around 114 gas per minute. So you can roughly say 1 muta per minute from each gas. Stephano doing a little bit of upgrading, so it's not going to be exactly 1 muta for 1 gas per minute, but this is definitely going to be a little bit scary for Titan since Stephano is going to be on 8 gases. And this 1 zealot is going to be coming. We'll see the handful of mutas coming from over here. This will allow Titan to get in position with his stalkers. It doesn't look like Stephano noticed his mutas did get spotted. Titan hiding just a little bit over here. Now going to get the blink. Then it allows him to do a little bit of extra damage to those mutas. Actually going to be taking out. Nope, only 1. It looks like he was going to get 2. But that 1 is deep, deep, deep in the red. That Twilight Council still unpowered. But it doesn't really matter. Titan got the research he wanted out of it, and now another muta goes deep into the red. We still have Titan with a handful of units over in the middle of the map doing a very nice job at keeping map control while this muta play is out. If Stephano ever flies in the middle of the map thinking that all the stalkers are at home, he can be in for a rude, rude, rude awakening. And Titan with some great stalk positioning right here is vulnerable. He must know the mutas are over down in this 6 o'clock position somehow, and all the stalkers are in a perfect position to deal with that. We do have a handful of units from Titan going to be moving out, but still he has stalkers back at home. 1 muta getting deep into the orange health, and now what will Stephano do? He is going to be going for a counter-attack because that is what shines with muta play, and even coming in with links, so doing a complete counter-attack, sacrificing all their spine cores, did not build them in time. But these mutas are going to be coming in and dealing a lot of damage to that probe line. Additionally, you have all the links on hold position right here. They do not want to go on attack move because they would go and try to take out those cannons due to attack priority. But Stephano comes with his mutas, going to clean up all those cannons and then finish off the job with the post. But we do have a blink of those stalkers coming down, and both players have killed around the same number of workers. Titan killing 29 harvesters while Stephano killing 25. We do have +3 ground weapons on the way for those stalkers. The mutas are at 2-2, I believe. Yes, they are at 2-2. Stalkers don't have any armor. Now the mutas are going to be coming in here. Those stalkers want to leave the base, but there's 2 zealots saying, no, guys, don't go to the base. There's mutas here. And that actually helping Titan a little bit. A little bit funny how that did work out. Those zealots, they knew what was best for those stalkers, and that was to stay back by that natural. Stephano, though, is getting a scary number of mutas, 34 mutas up, but he is losing all of his bases. These stalkers are going to see those rocks have been taken out, and that could mean that this base up at the 12 o'clock is taken. But Titan not going to be going up on that, and Stephano just has so many spine calls. But keep in mind, these stalkers do have blink. Colossus does give vision of high ground. So does the Observer, so Titan will be able to blink up to this main, and that will not be that good for Stephano. But Titan is splitting up those stalkers, and Stephano going to be engaging the stalkers when they are split up. But there are just too many stalkers for these mutas to deal with, especially being at that +2, almost +3. And now he's going to uproot a bunch of spine claws because he has way too many down here. Going to be going up into the main. And there's not that many stalkers on this low ground. This mutas going to go in and engage. This is what Stephano has to do. His other option is just to go in the base and be doing a lot of damage. But I think Titan, no, he doesn't have anything back at home. Just 6 stalkers, which would not do anything to all of these mutas. The mutas going to be coming in and trying to pick off the stalkers as in small numbers as possible. Because the advantage these mutas have is if they engage stalkers at small numbers, they just have so much DPS, all the stalkers evaporate. But if all the stalkers are grouped up, then these mutas will die. They don't have the DPS to evaporate large numbers of stalkers, especially with their stalkers being at +3. So Stephano has to catch stalkers out of position. Zealots do find the 1 base up here, and now Stephano going to be just at 2 bases. But Stephano going to be going back in for more and more worker kills. Still has plenty of spine crawlers around his only base. He's left at 1 base to the 3 bases of Titan. But going into the workers, that is going to be plummeting. As the mutas have come in, that 3rd base has been depleted of workers, and now the mutas are going to be going into the natural. The workers have already started running away, but that glaive worm just does so much damage to those probes. He has so many mutas, it is almost like the mutas turn into Hellions with their little splash damage. And now Stephano's still just at this one base. He has to take another base. Maybe he'll go back up to his main. There is still enough for 18 mutas left in gas. And that is a lot of gas, so he can't really just give that up. And that main is definitely the safest place to take. And looks like 3 mutas did fall right there. Going into this count is 30 mutas to 42 stalkers. And it looks like Stephano is out of this game, but muta play is a little bit funny. If Titan wants to win the game, he has to go and kill Stephano's buildings. And to do that, he leaves himself very open to this muta play. He should probably go up, get a Templar Urk-guys, maybe for Urkons, or at least Storm. Storm does so well against mutas, and that's what he has to do. He has to get Templars out, get Storms, bait the mutas a little bit, have the mutas go and attack something with a Storm. And once you get like 4 storms or maybe even 3 storms, all those mutas go into the like half health category, which means anytime you blink under them, it's not just 3 mutas that you're gonna kill. It's gonna be like 8 mutas you kill because they started at half health to begin with, and that is just too big of a loss for Stephano to deal with. He is splitting up his mutas, doing a great job. Not only does that give Titan a false sense of how many mutas are out, but it also allows him to be at 2 places at once, which is definitely a nice thing to do. Stephano taking bases at complete opposite sides pretty much, and Titan can't attack both sides while defending against mutas. So we do have a handful of mutas right here just going around. There are going to be zealots, and that's going to allow these mutas to clean their zealots up for absolutely free, but those mutas are going to be going on over. Now the zealots do come, discover this base. This handful of mutas do come back. We still have mutas over on this one side. Stephano doing a nice job. 14 mutas and 23 mutas, so he does have 2 hotkeys. That is Stephano. He only uses 4 hotkeys in almost every game, and since he only has mutas as his attack force, he does split them up based upon hotkeys. And one thing interesting, he has a Overseer with each hotkey. Maybe that allows him to clump his mutas up a little bit better, but that is going to be coming the bane of existence once Urkons or Storms do come out. You do not want to be clumped up against that. And we have Titan cleaning up this base. Of course, this one base did go. Stephano going to be taking that yet again. He has killed 67 probes, so even though Stephano doesn't really have much of a base or much mining going on, Titan doesn't either, because Stephano is just being so relentless, splitting up these mutas, doing such a good job at that, allowing him to just kill all the probes off. And Titan has to be killed, because if he ever attacks one group of mutas, the mutas can go and clump up and pick off stalkers that are out of position. It's so hard to deal with this. Titan doing a great job keeping his stalkers split up so the mutas don't just group up and catch stalkers out of position. And Titan now going to be blinking up on this high ground. It is 104 supply to 161. It's looking like Stephano is actually going to be taking a loss, and it's a loss against a Protoss player, and that's not something that Stephano is used to. That is his best matchup, ZVP. Stephano's best matchup by far. So we'll see if he can do anything to etch out a win. The game's definitely not over. Stephano trying to get on more bases, and he has killed enough probes. 78 workers have been killed. And Stephano has lost 50 drones, but the work count is even. And now this is what Stephano has to do, catch these stalkers a little bit out of position. Getting a lot of stalker kills there for relatively nothing. And if Stephano does that 4 or 5 more times, maybe even just 3 more times, he will be back into this game. But he has to put spine crawlers up at these other bases to give them defense, because these mutas alone are not enough for defense. Now he's going to go and take out these warp gates because, well, why not? I'm surprised he doesn't take out this Twilight Council. We don't have a Templar Archives out yet, but that would just put the tech so far behind if Titan wanted to go for those Templars. But maybe Stephano's saying, you don't have the gas to go for Templars. I'm killing all your gas out. And one base high Templar virtually is what Titan would be doing is not that great. And we do have Titan splitting up his units yet again. And this is just a handful of Stalkers here, but that is enough to scare these mutas away. And Titan looks like he has enough to deal with the mutas while splitting up his Stalkers in half. And that just makes it so hard for Stephano. This Observer is going to be seeing the one hatch over at this 12 o'clock position. We also have the one Colossus and Immortal finding this one base all the way down there. And Stephano will be losing both his bases yet again. And Titan with some great blinks, blinking the Stalkers forward and then blinking the ones in the front and back. And now that one base at the 12 o'clock is going to be taken out. Stephano has almost mined out of minerals. Going to be rebuilding that spawning pool finally. But it's looking ever so grim for Zerg Hope. As Titan, his mining is so much ahead of Stephano's right now. Look at that mineral income. And the gas, not so much of Titan. You can see Stephano has definitely done a number of him. 0 on that one, 1 on this one. Titan making a small mistake, not putting the guys back in gas, but he does float around 1k gas. Stephano floating around 1k minerals. But Stephano doesn't have any production. He's just got 1 hatch of production, and that's not going to get a link count that can spend that 1,000 minerals anytime soon. Stephano, they're going to come in and take out a lot of probes, going up to 97 worker kills, and now going to be taking out the pylons, powering gateways. And 4 more gates are being built. And looks like one of those gateways died on splash damage alone, pretty much. All the Stalkers are coming here. This Muta's going to be trying to get away and doing a little bit of a juke, going down instead of up. We do have Titan, though, taking another base. And Titan's got to be wondering where those Mutas did go off to, and they will be coming back and killing a lot more. But Titan, again, has a lot of units. He has 45 Stalkers to the 36 Mutas. And his mineral income is very, very low. But he will eventually get it high enough once he builds more and more probes out. He has 13 probes to the 27 drones. Stephano getting more bases. And if Titan ever lets one of these bases stay up for just a little bit too long, I mean, he is going to be coming back into this game. We do have Titan building a Templar Arc, guys, because he doesn't have money. He has a lot of gas. And you know what a very cost-efficient gas-wise against Mutas? Archons. So he is going to be getting that because Archons do not cost that many minerals. And right now, Titan could be saying, I can build Sentries or High Templars. What will be better against Mutas? Of course, High Templars and Archons will be better against Mutas than Sentries because he can't really keep Stalker production up just because he doesn't have that many minerals. Every time he builds some probes, these big bag Mutas do come in and take everything out. Titan does have a handful of Stalkers here. The Mutas want to engage them. And do they have enough to take out all these Stalkers? No defensive blinks. There we go, blinking a bunch of Stalkers back. And now blinking some back forward to take out as many Mutas as he can. The Muta count is still at 34 while 37 Stalkers. So Stephano doing a great, great job at picking off that Stalker count while keeping his Muta count high enough. Because keep in mind, Stephano had this Muta count while Titan had around 40 Stalkers. And the one class is going to be coming up, and now the Mutas are going to go and engage this small fleet of Stalkers. First, they're going to take out the class. That may be a mistake, but that will allow his Lings to do damage. If he is still building those Lings, I'm sure he is somewhere. Big blink back does go from Titan, and the Muta's just going to go and pick off that Immortal and Sentry. He does have this one base up, mining from it, because his well, what is his main now isn't really mining. He is just getting gas from his main and his natural. We do have a handful of Stalkers going up to this one base, and Stephano still has not placed Spine Crawlers there. So that base goes down immediately. Those Mutas have no time to get on over to it, and now a big blink comes from Titan to take out these Mutas. If Stephano had the Mutas over here defend this 12 o'clock base, that base would live. Those Stalkers would go down for relatively nothing, and this game would be in maybe not Stephano's favor, but it would be, maybe actually it would be in Stephano's favor if he had those Mutas up at that 12 o'clock position. But since he doesn't, the base does go down. All these workers are going to be going down. We do have Storm on the way. Stephano does see that, and will be able to take out that pylon, pause the Storm for so long, and Titan doesn't really have that much money to keep building pylons. Because every pylon he builds is going to be one less Stalker at this point, just because he doesn't have the mineral income. Going to his wood count, he is at 3 probes right now. Oh my god, he is cutting it close. If he builds like 1 Stalker right now and then Stephano kills those 3 probes, that's it for the income. Titan going so close to the sun right now. Say all the 3 probes died right now. He doesn't have 50 minerals to build any more. But Stephano's sitting in a similar situation. He has 10 drones out and has to long distance mine another 50 minerals to get another hatch up. So this game is definitely a little bit funky. And those Mutas, are they split up? It doesn't look like it is. He has 4 Lings on a hotkey. And now that he's going to come in, try to take out as many probes, but a big blink does come off from Titan. I love that. Hiding the Stalkers a little bit back here, so when the mutas come in, he can pounce on them. Very nice tactic from Titan to deal with these mutas. If the Stalkers were up at this little cliff, the mutas would know not to come in, and Titan would not get any of those hits off on them. But because he hides the Stalkers a little bit back, that forces the mutas to go inland, which does allow the Stalkers to get a few hits off. Ready? We're going to watch him do it yet again. Going in Stephano's vision. Sees it. He sees the probes. He's like, oh man, that looks so tasty. And now he's going to be coming in here and sees the Stalkers, immediately backs off. Stalkers do get a blink though. That does get a few hits off on those mutas. And Titan can be placing Stalkers over at this natural, trying to zone the mutas as best as he can. And does have an observer, I think, with those mutas. Yes, he does. Sees the mutas do get split up. And Stephano sees a bunch of Stalkers there. Again, that big blink does come up, getting a muta kill. And Titan looks like he does have this game now. Stephano is on the ropes. He is just about mined enough to build that hatch. And he's actually getting a lair. I'm not sure why he's getting a lair. He needs that money to get another hatch up. And those mutas want to come in and take out the probes, but they just can't. And the lair does come up. Maybe this is so Stephano can take like this 6 o'clock base, move. Okay, well played, this is fun. But what I was saying, he got the lair up, I think, so he could take the 6 o'clock base, move all his spine crawlers, rebuild the spire, and then no longer care about this area. Because what's here? The gases are depleted. The gases are almost depleted right here. That's 7, that's 8 mutas. That's still a lot of gas and a lot of lava there, but this is what he needed. So by getting this layer up, that does allow him to build a spire. It allows him to get his hatch up over here. So the hatch comes up, gets a spire here, then he can sacrifice these 2 spires, move all the spine crawlers, defend this base, and still be mining off of 1 base. But Stephano, he did see, okay, you have the probes mining. I can't really stop this. You're on 2 bases of income. That is it. My only hope was to be at 1 base of income and somehow outpower you. But, you being on 2 bases, 1 base Zerg versus a 2 base Protoss just is not going to be happening. And while I was saying that, we got into SC2 gears, so switching on over to this. And I can't believe Stephano actually lost a ZVP. That is rather amazing. So let's go to the APM tab. We do see Stephano, EAPM 94, Titan 94 as well. Redundancy at 50%, micro 140 with 50 macro. 50 macro for Titan. That is a little bit low for both players because, well, that was a long base trade. Going over into, let's go to the resources spent. Stephano somehow did spend more minerals and gas than Titan. And that's something Zergs always manage to do that I don't really understand sometimes. Going into this, we can look at the units. The abilities won't be really useful. No real abilities did go down. 6 observers. That is looking like, I can't really see how many drones this is. I want to say 270 something. It looks like 273, maybe a 276. But 141 mutas. That is definitely a lot of mutas. 166 probes. 112 stalkers versus 141 mutas. Keep in mind how many times the mutas were behind the count in stalkers. Like at the end of the game, there's 26 mutas to 38 stalkers. That's rather amazing, since Stephano built more mutas than Titan built stalkers, that he kept the stalk count higher than the mutas. That means at some point in the game, Stephano engaged poorly, and that's not something Stephano does all the time. Unit tiers, you can see the muta count right here, and then, like right here, he's so happy. He's like, yes, I got mutas, 23, okay. I'm at 2 bases, 2 bases. Okay, got my 4 bases up. They've kind of got taken down, so again, maybe this is 3 bases, 12 mutas. I don't know the count of this. This could be like in a 2-minute frame. Maybe just 1-minute frame. Maybe this is 3 bases. Let's go. 1928 into the game. We'll go 1928. Is he at 3 bases? 20 minutes. So 20 minutes is when he is losing his 3rd bases. So that is pretty cool that you can kind of get that count on. And maybe a gas is equal to 2 meters per minute. Maybe I was wrong in all that. I don't exactly know. I don't think I was. But who knows? I'm wrong oftentimes. I always thought a gas would be 100 gas per minute. A muta is around 100 gas, so I think I'm right. I think I am. But, yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for the game. There's not that much to look at. I guess we can look at this main building control. And Stephano has, let's go to the 10-minute mark. Let's see where he's at. Oh, 9:53, 10:04, 10:08. 7 seconds. So this is where we're used to seeing Stephano. Of course, I think, like, 5 is the best inject gap you can possibly have. I've never seen, like, 4 seconds at, 10 minutes because even with perfect injects, you have some small gap because the inject finishes, and then you have to regenerate like 3 or 2 energy to do another inject. So you never have 0 seconds. I think 4 or 5 is like the best you can possibly have. I'm not 100% positive, but that was a very good game. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you did too, and you don't see Stephano lose every day, so I bet you didn't expect that. So don't forget to subscribe. That definitely does help me. And also tell your friends, if you ever beat someone on ladder, and they're nice about it, tell them about my channel. Say, hey, this guy does a lot of analytical stuff, and that just spreads my name. And the bigger I get, the more casts I can do, which means the more analysis I do, and more analysis I do, the more I learn, and then the more I learn, the more you learn. So it's a huge chain like that. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow.